As she stared at the flashing four-legged creature, Penelope, who still could not remember her name and had begun to think of herself as simply me, was trying to remember if she knew anything about the creature approaching her. She sensed that there was something about them that was important to know. She racked her brain for the answer as the creature stepped closer and closer, flashing more and more rapidly. And then she remembered. They explode! She instinctively reached into an area where things were stored. She couldn't remember what it was called, but for some reason she thought she might have a weapon or a defense against the explosion inside of the storage area. There was nothing there. She looked at the creature again and put her arm up in a vain attempt to block the imminent explosion. But the explosion never came. Penelope looked up at the creature and saw its already wide eyes get even wider, its already gaping mouth expand into a shriek of fear. It suddenly ceased flashing, screamed again, and then ran away as fast as its four little legs would carry it. Penelope heaved a sigh. "Dodged that one, I guess," she mumbled. She stood up and dusted off her plain brown robe. She looked at her hands, both pasty white and square. Black hair hung down her sides. "I wish I could remember what my life was like before my battle with the death alchemist," she thought. "I'm certain I'm forgetting something." Penelope felt it was important to travel out of the cave. She felt in her bones that staying inside the cave would, at best, be lonely. At worst, another one of those strange creatures might approach her and actually explode. She stood up and looked around the cave. She noticed a dim light coming from one direction. She hoped it was an exit to the cave. She scrambled over the rocks and along a muddy creek bed. As she walked toward the light, she arrived at the base of a crude staircase, clearly made by someone or something. The stairs appeared to lead toward the light. She began to climb them. When she finally made it to the top of the staircase, she found a landing with several torches placed on it. Penelope stomped her foot. "I must have seen the light from these torches." The landing was encircled by cobblestone walls on three sides with a smooth cobblestone ceiling above them. In the center of the ceiling was a wooden trapdoor. Penelope stood directly underneath the trapdoor, reached up and pulled on it, but nothing happened. When she pushed on it, the door swung open. From where she stood, it looked to her like the trapdoor led to a room, well lit with torches. Penelope reached up and grabbed the edges of the opening. She pulled herself up into the room and found herself surrounded by many chests. She couldn't remember what chests were called, but she did recall they were things that would hold other things, a place for storage. She walked over to one chest and opened it. Inside, she found various kinds of food. Her stomach rumbled. There was no one else in the room. The chest was so full of food she assumed whoever owned the chest wouldn't miss a few apples, a loaf of bread, and some pieces of cooked meat. Penelope pulled several of each item out of the chest and put them into her personal storage area. She now vaguely recalled that it was known as an inventory. After she had placed the food items in her inventory, she reached into the chest again and removed one more roasted chicken leg and then closed the chest. As she gnawed on the chicken leg, she began to feel better, physically anyway. She still could not remember her name. Will I ever? Or why she had been in the realm between life and death, or what happened before that. But at least her belly was full now. When she had finished eating the chicken, she tossed the meatless leg bone behind a chest and then scanned the room. She saw a door in the center of one wall, but before she opened it, she searched a few more chests for some sort of weapon. Eventually, she found a gleaming blue sword. She forgot what they were made of, but somehow she knew they were the best kind. She took the sword and held it in her right hand. She approached the door and pushed it open. On the other side of the door stood a person, her back turned to the door. Penelope could not remember if she'd seen anyone like this before. It didn't matter. There was only one thing to do. "Excuse me?" Penelope said.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it. at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.